Welcome to this overview video. Today, our presentation will help you understand the McLean Legacy Fund and how to apply for funding. The fund exists to honor survivors of federal Indian day schools, their families, and communities. Together, we will go through who can apply, what funding is available, and how to complete your application. A reminder that this video gives guidance only. Please see the Legacy Fund Application Package 2025 and application form for full instructions. We'll start by giving an overview of the Legacy Fund before talking about who is eligible. We'll then walk you through the application process and then answer some of your frequently asked questions. Before we get started, there are some important things to remember. The McLean Legacy Fund is not for individual compensation. The Legacy Fund was created to support collective, community-based projects that survivors and their families lead together. It is about healing, language and culture, truth-telling, and commemoration. If you are looking for information about your individual day school claim, that process is completely separate. You can contact the claims administrator at 1-888-221-2898 or visit www.indiandayschools.com for support. The McLean Legacy Fund was created from the $1.7 billion federal Indian day schools settlement. $200 million is dedicated to survivors, their families, and their communities. The fund supports key 4 areas: healing and wellness, language and culture revitalization, commemoration, and truth-telling. This is not an individual claims fund. Instead, it invests in collective, community-based projects that strengthen survivors, families, and future generations. Gary McLean, a member of the Lake Manitoba First Nation, was the lead plaintiff in the federal Indian Day Schools class action. He represented hundreds of thousands of survivors across the country. Gary passed away just before the fund was established, but the Legacy Fund carries his name and spirit. His vision was clear. Survivors must lead the healing journey, and communities must decide what they need. That vision guides every part of this fund. The McLean Day School Settlement Corporation, or MDSSC, is the steward of the Legacy Fund. We are a survivor-led organization that ensures the fund is managed in a good way, with the voices of survivors and families at the center. To learn more about MDSSC, please visit the website at www.mcleanlegacyfund.ca. The Voices of Survivors has helped shape the McLean Legacy Fund. Between late 2021 and early 2022, the MDSSC held 6 regional and national engagement sessions and invited survivors and families to share their views through an online survey. Survivors told us clearly, funding must go directly to communities, support must be provided in applying, and funds should be allocated quickly and used responsibly. These principles are at the heart of the fund. Applications for funding must come from recognized survivor applicant groups or survivor committees. These groups represent survivors in communities where a federal Indian day school operated, listed in Schedule K of the settlement agreement. Only one application is accepted per community per category, even if there were multiple schools in that region. The Legacy Fund is not for individuals. It is also not available for charities, mainstream education institutions, political or religious groups, or government agencies. There are 2 types of funding. Category 1 supports communities to establish a survivor committee. Category 2 provides program funding in one of 4 pillars: healing and wellness, language and culture, commemoration, or truth-telling. Survivor committees bring survivors together to lead healing in their community. Funding covers things like honoraria for elders, meeting costs, and gathering spaces. It is one-time support to help set up a committee. If a committee already exists, they would not be eligible for this funding, but they could apply for funding under Category 2. Category 2 supports survivor-led community-based programs. Each community may choose one pillar per round. Programs may last 1 to 4 years. Survivors must be central to planning and participation. Expenses must directly support survivor-led activities. Examples include elders' honoraria, staff who deliver the project, ceremonies, materials, and travel within Canada. Funding cannot be used for individual payouts, vehicles, construction, tuition, or government operations. This helps protect the fund for healing-focused projects. The Legacy Fund does not cover these types of expenses. It is important to keep in mind that the fund is separate from the claims process, so individual compensation is not allowed. Capital projects like constructing or renovating buildings or buying vehicles are also not eligible. The fund will not cover government or political operations, tuitions, or bursaries. Core operations, salaries for regular staff, deficit recovery, and business ventures are not eligible. Neither are overseas travel, unrelated research, or conferences. By focusing on allowable project expenses, your community's application will have a stronger chance of success. In the next section, we'll walk you through the application form in detail. This video is meant to guide you in plain language and highlight the most important steps, but it does not replace the official application materials. For complete instructions, including the full list of requirements, please read the Legacy Fund Application Package 2025, which includes the application form. These documents provide all the details you will need and are available to download on www.mcleanlegacyfund.ca. Any applicant group applying as an organization must be community-based, and community must be community listed in Schedule K. You must prove the organization has a long-established existence with strong governance, human resources, financial and program capacity, and successful programming. It must be First Nation or Inuit community owned, controlled, and managed. It must demonstrate experience with First Nation or Inuit specific survivor groups. You must be supported by local or national First Nation or Inuit political leadership and community elders. The organization must be not-for-profit, incorporated for at least 2 years with sound board structure and members. The corporation number must be provided, a letter patent, annual filing, as well as financial statements as proof of existence and operations. The organization cannot be a sole individual organization, a social agency, political organization, or for-profit entity. You must have support and provide proof of support from 2 of the following: federally recognized Chief and Council, existing Indian Day School Survivors Committee, Band Council Resolution, Tribal Council Resolution, National Inuit Leadership, Cultural Education Center, which is a qualified center, must be funded by Indigenous Services Canada's First Nation and Inuit Cultural Education Centers program, administered either by Indigenous Services Canada or First Nations Confederacy of Cultural Education Centers. Spiritual leaders such as a ceremonial elder, church leader such as a priest or minister, community or nation's elders council. Survivor committees must set up a bank account in the name of the committee, with 3 signing authorities to apply for funding. This is a requirement for funding, and it helps protect both the survivors and the community by ensuring accountability. If your group is newly formed or ad hoc, you still need to establish a bank account and provide 3 signing authorities. In these cases, the group must also sign an acceptance of liability form, which confirms their responsibility for managing the funds in a good way. To do this, it's recommended you form your committee, open a bank account with 3 signatories, and then submit your application for funding. Every application must include at least 2 letters of support, and they must come from recognized community authorities. For example, a chief and council, an elders council, or a recognized survivor committee. Letters from individuals alone are not accepted. These letters show that your project has the backing and trust of your community. Okay, let's start with your application. Part A identifies your community or committee. You must name the federal Indian day school that was in your community and the years it operated. Select whether you are a First Nation, Inuit community, or a survivor committee. Include official contact details. Part B asks who is applying on behalf of the community. Provide your name, title, phone number, and email. You must also give an alternate contact in case follow-up is needed. In Part C, you choose your funding category. Category 1 is one-time funding for survivor committees. Category 2 allows you to select one pillar of programming for funding. Communities may only apply to one pillar per round. You can submit an application under both Category 1 and Category 2, but only one pillar of programming. If you choose Category 1, Part D describes how you will establish your survivor committee. Include your project title, start and end dates, the activities you will do, who is involved, and how survivors will benefit. For Category 2, Part E requires a full work plan. Describe your activities year by year, your goals, outcomes, and how survivors will be included. You may apply for up to 4 years of funding within the limits of your chosen pillar. You can do this in the application or attach another document with this information. Every application must include a budget. Show how much money you need for each activity and explain the expenses. Use the MDSSC budget template provided or create your own, but ensure it matches the activities in your application. Annex 3 asks about your community's history, your experience supporting survivors, and any partners. Describe how survivors will be included and how they will benefit from the projects you are applying for. Annex 4 is your signed declaration. You confirm that all information is correct, you will use the funds only for approved purposes, and you agree to follow the terms of funding. The application must be signed. Once complete, email your application and budget, as well as all other attachments to legacyfund@mdssc.ca by November 28, 2025. Over the past few weeks, we've had some questions from communities as they prepare their applications. In this section, we'll go through those questions to provide you additional information. Can we apply for both Category 1 and Category 2? Yes, communities can apply to both categories in this round. Is a survivor committee required to apply for Category 2? A survivor committee does not need to be very formal. It may be that your community forms an ad hoc committee with a few survivors who wish to come together. Who can provide a letter of support? Acceptable proof of support can come from an existing Indian Day School Survivors Committee, a Tribal Council resolution, National Inuit leadership, a cultural education center, one that's funded through Indigenous Services Canada's First Nation and Inuit Cultural Education Centers program, a spiritual leader, such as a ceremonial elder, a church leader, such as a priest or minister, a community or nation elders council, or any other formal and recognized community group. Will there be another round of funding? Yes, there will be another round of funding. Does a budget need to be included? Yes. A budget must be included with your application. Be as specific and as detailed as possible in describing activities and materials. Once you submit your application, the MDSSC board will take some time to review and make sure everything is complete. The MDSSC board will then review all applications in winter 2026. The board will review all applications together in early 2026 to ensure fairness to all applicants in this first round of funding. Communities will be notified once decisions are made. Funding agreements will be signed and funds released in March or April 2026. If you do receive funding, you must provide an interim report, a final report, and a financial report. Reports can include photos, stories, and testimonies to show the impact of your project. You are not alone in this process. The MDSSC team is here to answer your questions as you complete your application. For emotional or cultural support, the Hope for Wellness helpline is available 24/7 in English, French, Cree, Inuktitut, and Ojibwe. Please visit McLeanLegacyFund.ca for funding information. If you need help, email us at legacyfund@mdssc.ca.